Do that one more time. Just for the audio. You do got a pretty big dick for a white boy.
I'm your host, Jason Elliot, and I'm joined, as always, by Sean Z. Sean, what is going on, man?
Happy Hallows Eve.
Hells yeah. Love this time of year, too. It's getting cooler, not so humid and hot outside, even though it is pretty hot
The
outside.
Astros won last night.
Shit, yeah, dude. Tied that series 1-1, even though they should have won on Friday night after blowing a 5-0 lead.
Let's get right into it. We got the logo up. Game one.
We were riding high.
I was watching the highlights because I fell asleep, but what the hell happened to Verlander, first off?
Okay, he dropped what could have been a potentially, inning-changing double play. And the thing is, I think he took his eye off the ball. And so a batter hit it, and it went in his glove, and I thought he caught it. And then it dropped out. It dropped out. And so all of a sudden, he tried to make a play, and he overthrew Yuli, and, just calamity ensued. And, it was already 5-1 at that point, and then it became 5-3. Dusty does not take him out. This is what
you said about Dusty a while back. It's not a knock. It's just his style.
Yeah, and he was trying to get Verlander, his first World Series win. But hey, dude, fuck the semantics. Look, if he's in trouble and about to lose this game for your team, you got to get him out, regardless of what is going on. If he doesn't have a World Series win and all that shit. I mean, hey, we're trying to win a championship, and baseball is a game of inches. You fuck up managerially, you're gonna
cost the game,
yeah,
or
it's gonna be,
or people are gonna point to that as the reason.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, people are already on him, quite a bit. So, when it was 5-3,
why are they on him? I don't know.
A lot of his decisions, and plus, with Jake Myers.
Okay.
Jake Myers, returned from, the torn labrum. And he just wasn't the guy that he was before the injury. And, he kept trotting him out there. And it was clear that he needs more time. He needed more time in AAA. He needed, just more rehab time, because that torn labrum is it's a son of a bitch, dude. It's a hard injury to come back from.
So, don't you have to have the okay from the player to go out? Or is Dusty like, you can do it?
Well, the thing is, they wanted to get him back in, and, I think he just, put him out there. I guess Jake felt that he was, okay. I mean, so, it's like there's a lot of things, going on, in these clubhouses.
But that's just one example of what you were saying. So Game one, Verlander, Dusty's decision to keep him in maybe a little too long. Game two, he took out
Fromber
at a good time, I think, because that's right when he went out, they scored their runs.
Well, I think Fromber gave up it was Montero who gave up that run.
Our bullpen actually their last run came in the ninth.
Yeah, it came in the ninth. Yuli, Mr. Scooper.
Game two,
yeah, Mr. Scooper. He couldn't get to the ball, and they got a run. But press.
Game one, finish off the Jason Elliot rant. Where was the actual run support after that fifth run? We got stagnant.
Jack shit was what we got, because the thing is, we had chances. We did have some chances, and Nick Castellanos, hats off to him. He saved that game, because if Jeremy Pena, if that ball drops or he misses it, Nick Castellanos misses it, that's the end of the game right there. And he saved it for him in the ninth inning. Yeah,
that was a nice catch.
It was a nice defensive catch.
But when you see plays like that happen, you feel the momentum of the game.
Oh, it sucks it right out of you.
And that's the thing I love and I hate about baseball. It's just like,
or even playoff sports.
Yeah.
The thing is, one play can just really, really, really turn the tide in a series or a game.
Well, you don't have that luxury in the NFL, right? It's one game. At least we're playing a series here.
But the thing is, it's like you want to take advantage of every opportunity because they chased Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler are their top 2 pitchers. Now, we have pitching depth, that we can counteract them with.
Yeah.
We're going to go
someone
with
someone on
McCullers.
MLB Network was comparing our bullpen, saying
Like the Braves.
The Phillies are a bullpen of hot pitchers, and the Astros are deep with the bullpen, so it equals out.
Yeah, and really, I think if this goes 6, our bullpen is just. I mean, we have so many pitchers, dude.
And both teams have used so many pitchers already.
Yeah, I mean, like we've used Presley, so Presley gets a day off. LMJ, Lance McCullers Jr.
Getting the Game 3 start.
Yeah, Mr. Bury Me in the H.
I love that line, man.
Yeah,
You got to make a shirt about that.
I think there is. There's somewhere. You can probably Google it.
Capitalizing it already, aren't you, Lance?
Yeah, and I think we.
You think he's the best Lance we've ever had on the Astros?
Well, he's
Lance Berkman.
Well, he's the most vocal. I mean, Lance Berkman was a damn good hitter.
Yeah, dude. Lance was born in the H. McCullers, or he went to school. He went to Rice.
Yeah.
So he's basically Estonian.
Yeah.
So,
and I think he still lives here. I think he was like doing something with a
here. It's always here or Fort Worth, one of the two.
Yeah, and Ryan Presley, what's his name? Hunter Pence. They're both from Arlington.
Hunter Pence has been on the MLB Network a few times talking about the ALCS, NLCS, and I think now the World Series.
Yeah,
but Game 1, we swipe it under the rug.
Yeah, we gifted them that game.
What I thought about was we lost Game 1 to the Dodgers.
Well, we're not good in Game 1s.
But the statistics show, the team who wins Game 1 usually wins this percentage of series. But what I did like about the ending of Game 1 is the bottom of the 9th, we still had a chance to come back and win. And that's what reminded me.
The bottom of the 10th, too.
The last play. Like, that's what reminded me of that championship team from 17, the Houston Astros. You couldn't put us away. And I'm getting similar vibes from the Phillies as well, because they're a good team, too. But, like, that tweet you sent me, what exactly it was saying, all people need to stop this cheating thing. It was a Phillies fan that posted this on Twitter. This is just a good team.
Yeah, it is. I mean, give us our due. We were a good team in 17, but Alex Cora and Carlos Beltran, they brought that cheating system here. They were the ones who started that shit.
Beltran's always fucked over Houston Astros fans.
Exactly. Remember when he didn't sign in what was it, 2005?
Yeah.
He didn't re-sign here.
Dude, thank God. One playoff run got him that contract, and he was not producing for a while.
No, and then he went to the Yankees and then the Mets, or the Mets.
Yeah, and then he
went to the Yankees, I think.
Did he not go to the Cardinals too? Cardinals, I feel like get everyone at 38, 37.
Yeah, and I think he was with the St. Louis Cardinals, but yeah, I mean, remember when he came back? I mean, it
was so fun to win a World Series with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he had never won one, and then he was able to win one. So,
but I'm glad that a Phillies fan, who knows if it's really a Philly fan in Philly, but I mean, dude, Joey Votto came to a bat for the Astros. He has no reason to.
Recently, Lucas Giolito.
What did he say?
He said that basically it was an even playing field with what all the other teams were doing. And
they were doing similar stuff?
Yeah. Sign stealing. Look, sign stealing has been a part of this game since its inception. I've heard stories, read about stories where, they had a person there with a telescope.
That's
relaying,
hilarious.
in the old days, relaying signs and shit. So I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna keep on happening. Plus, the Phillies were cheating in 2010.
The Phillies,
yes, the
year after they won the World Series.
They won it in 2008, so it was 2010. Okay. But with our very own Brad Lidge, I must say. But yeah, I mean, it was like, okay, look. Everybody cheats. We were just the face of the franchise because we had beaten the 3 highest payrolls. Plus, the Astros weren't cheating in the playoffs. It's already been proven that.
What about the videos of the trash cans?
Those were regular season games.
Okay, well that's okay. But I mean, dude, who do you think made that a huge issue when they were doing it? The Dodgers.
Of course, Dodgers, Yankees.
Well. Was that the last year of that one manager before Boone?
It was Joe Girardi, I believe.
Okay, so he's fighting for his job.
Pretty much. I mean, and then he got his ass fired from the Phillies.
That was fast.
Yeah. Well, Joe Girardi had been there, I think maybe 2 years before 3 years before he got fired, and they just underachieved. They had all this money tied up in that team, and then they just underachieved year after year. And then they, brought in a new manager, and then all of a sudden they just go on a roll.
Yeah, but I was glad to see that from a Phillies fan because they have a great fan base. And the Philadelphia Rockets and the Arizona Texans can have those. We'll stick to baseball for now. But Game 2 hits last night.
Yeah, Game 2 hits last night.
I texted you right before. I'm like, Altuve, first pitch, he's going to homer. He didn't quite homer, but he
got a hit. I'm
double.
Glad to see
he got
him.
us a double. And then who got a double next? Pena. And then who got another double? Jordan. Dude, if Jordan didn't get that double, that would show me something in that team's mentality. The fact that even Bregman said something after the game, the fact that he hustled to that second base,
fuck yeah, dude.
That shows the hunger in that team because he wasn't there in 17.
Mm-mm.
So he's played in the World Series, but this is all new to him, especially healthy.
Yeah, because 19, we got him, I want to say August is when we called him up.
And he still had great numbers. But still, that's like us this year saying Pena go win us a World Series.
Yeah, and Pena's showing up.
Dude, Pena's doing great. Altuve looks like he's back.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting hits and everything. So
they need to figure. I saw a play where they miscommunicated the double play.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Altuve still has his head up his ass a little bit, but...
Well, the thing is, he thought that I think the easy play was going to be at first base or something like that. So that's why he's kneeling down. And the thing is, it's like this. When you're the closest base, to throw it to, I mean, shit, get your ass on base. It was just a miscue, and they gave us an error for that.
And see, if you're Altuve, you're a veteran. You should know, hey, I should not put this guy on an island, Pena. Let me make sure he's doing what he needs to do. If he needs me, I'm here.
Yeah.
Because it looked like, did they need 2 outs or 1 out?
Okay, I think it was 1 out at that time. Because I remember I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay. So maybe he wanted to force that first, but at the same time,
I think
the guy coming to the second didn't even pass Altuve yet. Altuve's just like kneeling down.
And I'm just like, holy shit. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm thinking that we're going to try to get the double play. But, I mean, the easy play, I think, should have been second. Because, I mean, he could have made it.
Safer play.
Yeah, safer play would have probably been second to cut off the lead runner.
Yeah, if something goes wrong, goes into the dugout, and they have a guy on third and second. It's like, well, come on.
Yeah.
And you just got to walk off to the next play. But there's been a lot of small errors, like the first baseman. On both teams. Even when we played the Yankees, I think that's just the jitters of the World Series.
Well, and also, with a team like the Yankees, I mean, there's going to be miscues sometimes. And the Yankees were down 3-0. So, like, the thing is, like, you can sometimes just take your eye off the ball. You have a simple overthrow. I mean, it's not, something that's really jarring, but I mean, it's shit like that just happens.
So what'd you take away from Game 2?
Game 2, Fromber is probably our true ace.
I second that.
The way he was wheeling and dealing, that curveball, was really, really working for him.
But he wasn't.
And he's always had
he
that
wasn't
curveball.
at the beginning of the season. Verlander, it looks like he's kind of tired, or maybe he's never been great in playoff games.
But he's never been great in World Series games. That's why he doesn't have a World Series win. He also has the highest ERA at 6.30.
I also heard something when Roger Clemens was playing. It's like players get pumped to play against a guy like Verlander.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna it's like playing Kobe. You're gonna get that person's best performance.
And he was damn fucking nails for 3 innings. And then it just came unglued, in the 4th.
Do you think
4th and 5th? Yeah.
If you were managing that team, would you switch the rotation or not right now? Because I still think Verlander has 1 game in him that he has never pitched, and I think that's coming.
Yeah, I mean, maybe okay. So Game 2, Fromber gets some rest. You got LMJ, and then you probably have Christian Javier for Game 4. Game 5, there's a decision to make. If you're gonna, it all depends on if the Astros are up, and they're trying to finish off the series in Philadelphia. So do you go with Fromber, maybe, and then have Verlander come in and save? Give Ryan Presley some time off, or maybe have him do some mid-relief.
Yeah, I mean, you just reminded me of Presley when Pena tried to make that catch and he caught it with his hand.
Yeah.
And the jitters, the juggles going on in this series. But Game 2 gave me with. I still think we have the ability to get more runs up.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, it's like we got those 5 and then we just stopped. We just didn't. I mean, you cannot rest with Philadelphia. You have to continue to attack.
And that's usually what people say about us.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, if you can get past our pitching, yeah, you can.
Just like every other team.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, Astros held it down. It's just like we couldn't score any goddamn runs. I mean, like I think when Verlander gave up 3 in that 4th inning, and then another 2 in the 5th, it kind of just took the wind out of their sails.
Dude, I woke up, I turned the TV on, and it was 6-5. I'm like, yeah, I'm turning this off, going back to bed.
It did ruin my night and part of my day. And then when I saw, like, Fromber just wheeling and dealing and Alex Bregman hit that homer, dude. And then Kyle Schwarber almost got them.
But that one home run looked like a home run, but it was foul.
Yeah, Kyle Schwarber, yeah.
And then Tuck made a great catch again. What's with him with that wall, dude? He knows that field.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, Tuck is a great defensive, guy. And Montero is an okay pitcher, but, oh, God, man. I mean, it's like, dude, you got about to give me a heart attack, man. I mean, you almost hit a near home run. Then he almost hits another one. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, he is a good player. But
yeah, Schwarber
as
a
awesome. Pitcher, that's unacceptable in the World Series.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, you saw the guy nearly took you deep,
Or it's in football, like they score a touchdown, but it's a penalty on the offensive team, and then right away they throw another pass, a touchdown again. You cannot make those mistakes in a World Series because you don't have time to come back. It's a momentum game.
It's a game of inches.
Just like that infamous Pujols home run, dude, that ruined us probably winning the World Series.
Yeah, because
we got swept.
We didn't have Oswalt for game 1.
That's a huge thing. You need your ace, but at least if we went back in time, our number 2 would be pitching, which would be Valdez. So hey, but Pedro was talking to him before the game, and he loves our team for some reason.
Oh yeah, because I guess they beat the Yankees and stuff like that.
I also think there's got to be something with like the management. It's like, hey Pedro, why don't you come down? We'll treat you well. Like,
oh yeah, I mean Pedro's cool, man. I love Pedro.
Dude, he's just a likable dude. And it's a shame that him and Big Papi are on opposite networks.
Yeah.
Because them together would be better than almost NBA on TNT with the personalities.
Oh, of course.
Alex Rodriguez, he doesn't really do it for me. It's like, did he have work done again? Like, have you seen him, or did he just get fat?
I think he just got fatter.
I love him, but I don't hate anybody, but I hate what he is afraid to be, and that's himself, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think he still wants to be like a star or something like that, maybe.
Dude, you are.
But, I mean, one that's like, because, I mean, look, he was with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, now Ben's back with her, which we'll get to Ben in a little bit.
Yeah, and they're married, now, so.
Yeah, but you got to let that go. At the same time, he does a good job. He's very, straight to the book with his analyst job. But I don't know. Frank Thomas doesn't do it. It's just like with all that testosterone he's taking, why does he not look in shape? I mean, what's going on with Frank Thomas and testosterone?
Maybe that's just something to get some money, dude.
No shit. But don't you want your spokesman to be like
in shape?
Yeah. It's like, hey, Frank, you think for the shoot we can get you down 20 pounds? Yeah. It's like the Brando effect. He comes in overweight, no shooting dark lighting.
Yeah.
But I just see no chemistry between A-Rod and Frank. And then
that's fair.
Right? And then Papi is just being himself.
Oh, yeah. Papi's great.
Best stories.
Big Papi, when the scandal came out about the cheating, Big Papi was like, I got a problem with that. He was like, why do you wait, 2 years to say something? What's that about? If you had such a big problem with it, you should have said something when it was going on.
Yeah. Because why don't you with anything in life?
Because, dude, they were riding high. Mike Fiers, and he was kind of like, he was really a good pitcher for like June of 2017 when we had some guys out, and then he just sucked. And he didn't get put on the playoff roster for any series. So that kind of fucked with his head. And then I think he was wanting a contract that was like $10 million a year or something like that. I mean, he wasn't worth it. And I think he pitched a no-hitter that year too.
Man, I don't even want to get into that world of the financials because it blows my mind.
Yeah, but
how much money and how little money some people get in sports.
Yeah, I mean, usually like if you're top tier, you're gonna get that money. If you're Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, JT Real Muto, I mean, Alex Rodriguez had the $252 million. It was an unprecedented contract, when he got it back in 01, 02.
Do you think with A-Rod, his game got overshadowed by his stardom a little bit?
Of course.
Because he was a great player, but at the same time, I don't think he was that player people expected him or had in their minds he was. I think for him, his stardom overshadowed his play and then added more. We expect more from you.
That can.
What else can you
happen.
give a person, fan?
That can happen. I mean, he was a damn good player. I mean, you look at his stats. He also took steroids too. He admitted that. He said he started taking them right when he got that contract because he felt the pressure.
He started taking them in high school, in my opinion.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that.
But I'm not killing a guy for that. We've had a conversation on steroids before. I don't think it makes you. I just think you are a good player, and then this helps. Maybe I don't know much about it. It helps you not get hurt or recover from an injury.
You recover faster.
Yeah,
because you have to think you're playing every day. A lot of times you don't have days off. You're playing every day. You may have maybe one day off in between a series, and that's it. People
saying, "Oh, baseball, it's not that much of a physical game." It's not just that. It's not just that. It's standing under that sun. It's standing under the cold. Even if there's a roof, it's going on that airplane. Having that fog of the airplane in your head while you play, not being able to sleep when you land in the night before and still having to play a game. These are things we never hear about.
Yeah. I mean, so the life of an athlete, is a tough one. I mean, sports are hard on your body. But, I mean, that's why you see a lot of guys taking things and, they do yoga and all this kind of stuff, just to, keep their bodies fresh.
You have to.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson style. Get 25 masseuses. Get 25 massage.
Well, Carlos Correa just my back, got tweaked and hurt, from a masseuse, and I had talked to a masseuse, and the dude was like, there's no way.
Wait, I forgot about that. What'd he say?
Well, remember, I think they had he and Daniela had like a press conference or something like that. I remember it was like on ABC, and they were talking about him getting hurting his back, from a massage, and a guy at my gym who's a retired massage therapist said, "There's no way." No way he could have hurt his back.
It's a good cover story for people who are not going to fish into it.
Well, and the thing is, people speculated. Like, I just think, he's probably just maybe, having sex. Blowing his.
Maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was drunk, fell downstairs.
Hurt himself.
Maybe got hit in the back with a bat. You never know. You never know. I mean, if I got injured in a ridiculous way, I don't want people knowing it.
Fuck no.
Oh, man. But where do you see the rest of the World Series going?
It's going to be hostile.
Prediction for Game 3.
Hostile environment. LMJ, if he can stop walking, because he walks a lot of people, and he does give up early runs. So if LMJ can be dialed in like he was in Seattle, I see the Astros, really gaining an advantage. Javier, I mean, he's so stone cold, stone faced. Just he can get really dialed in. So,
are you surprised they moved them back to the original rotation?
A little bit, but I guess Dusty knows what he's doing. But we'll see. But I see Javier really having a good game too.
Do you think the stage is going to be too big for the Astros players being in that stadium in Philly?
Dude, come on, man. We played in New York. Hostile environment.
The fans are not as loud. Remember, by the time Game 2 got there, it was so quiet.
Well, you have to understand. Game 2, they got deflated. Oh, well, the roof was open and the wind, it was a factor. Well, here's the thing. By that time, people were booing Judge. They were just really hostile on him. Plus, I think with that Game 3, we were just really asserting our dominance. With this one, the World Series should always be a mashup of the two best teams. And it should be a tough series. It shouldn't just be a sweep. It should always go at least 6-7 games.
Yeah, this feels like a series.
Yeah. And so, there's a lot of push and pull. So it's going to be just that. It's going to be a tough series. I think the Astros probably do pull this out just because of their pitching depth. I mean, they have a good offensive squad, but like I said, LMJ, Christian Javier, they're going to have to be on their best.
Do you think we end this thing in Philly?
Maybe. Because the thing is, the Astros are a damn good road team.
We're also capable of just taking the life out of a crowd with one hit by Jordan, one
Maybe
hit.
even just, the great pitching.
Yeah, and it just, next thing you know, it's ninth inning, it's 1-0, and we win.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we can score more than one damn run.
And also, in my mind, it's like if you're the team being called the hot team, which the Phillies are, and you're the team being called, they're just so good.
Yeah, what the Astros are.
I mean, yeah, the hot team, sure. But as a fan, I'm more comfortable knowing my team is great.
Yeah.
Not depending on a guy who's batting .215 all year to come up big in this moment.
Yeah, I don't really know what that was with the Ledmus Diaz. Sit his ass down and get David Hensley in there.
Dude, I don't get him. It seems like he always strikes out.
And I think he did strike out last night, too.
Get Tony Kemp back up in here.
Yeah, and speaking of Tony Kemp, who's playing with the Oakland A's could possibly be moving to
Vegas?
Vegas, yeah.
I've heard about that.
And they showed a mock-up of their new stadium.
Dude, also, who do you think deserves a team first in the NBA? Vegas or Seattle?
Seattle.
I want to challenge.
Even though they used to whip our asses, Seattle, dude.
I love Seattle. I love the Key Arena still exists. I'm not sure if they would have to build a new stadium, but as far as the city goes, economically, all the money right now is in Vegas. You got a flourishing gambling.
The Oakland Raiders.
You have the Oakland Raiders. You got possibly the A's and a hockey team already.
Yeah, Golden Knights.
It's a regular city, and you don't see pictures and videos on YouTube of drug abuse on the streets. There is, trust me, but
everywhere is like that.
I know, but in Seattle, I hope
the homeless problem.
Because if you're playing in Portland, do you like living in that city?
You probably have to live somewhere outside of it because of all the homelessness that goes on there.
So I think Seattle deserves it, but I think it'll go to Vegas first.
Possibly, yeah. A lot of money, sports betting. They're kind of easing up on the regulations with sports betting. That's why they didn't want any sports team there in the first place.
I mean, do you think Oakland is just a small city for teams like this?
The thing is,
I've seen San Francisco taking that market.
I think San Francisco should have taken it, but the thing is, it's all in the ownership. Because the thing is, I don't know what they were, why they let that team just falter like that. And really, when you look at a lot of their games, it was only like a handful of people in the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean,
and what's
not even what, 5,000?
They're always pretty competitive, and I guarantee if they had the fan base around them, players would know people cared. It plays into the morale.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably like baseball purgatory for most people, for most players.
They must have done something to deserve that moment.
I don't know, but it's ownership too. The ownership should have done something to drum up, interest and try to make that team a little more competitive. Because I remember, I think it was 18 or 19 when they overtook us for the AL West.
When owners move teams, though, I mean, sorry to segue. I love the A's, great color scheme, but Oilers moved from Houston. It was a baseball and football stadium.
Yeah.
Oakland, baseball, football stadium. I think that combo, baseball, football, you're not going to see it again. But I think there's so many problems with it.
Yeah. I don't know too many. Because, Soldier Field.
Because Cleveland has the lowest capacity for baseball, but it's a nice-looking stadium on top of the players.
And, hell, the Guardians had one hell of a season.
They did. They're always competitive.
Yeah. And sometimes they're, sometimes they're not. It's just like signing.
Who won their division?
They did. They overtook the Minnesota Twins.
Then why were they in the lowest seed plays wild card? That's kind of dumb.
Yeah. They were division winners and they had to go wild card. But, hey, they
should expand that so every division winner gets a bye, and then you have wild card teams play against each other.
I would just, or you know what they're probably going to do? Probably just make it like the NBA and NHL playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, like 1 through 5 or however many teams they're going to let into the playoffs. Because they're talking about.
I like the best of 3 to start.
Yeah, the first round.
Yeah, baseball is a longer game.
And see, that's what they used to do with the NBA until they start going best of 7 every round.
That's a little much for me.
But you know what that's about. It's about money.
Yeah, but does it water down the game sometimes?
Yeah, because it's like the first round too long, you know, and like I remember
you're not winning anything. You're just creating anxiety.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, I would like to see it go back to that best of 5 first round and from second round on 7.
And sometimes NFL is expanding games, yes, but what makes them so valuable is the limited amount of games they have. So it's like round 1 NBA playoffs, dude. This is huge. We can get knocked out in how many games? 3? What?
Yeah, I remember it used to be 2.
Shit.
It used to be the best of 3, I believe. Yeah.
That's funny when you hear like a recent team or a team in the present, like a couple of years back or 10 years ago when the Warriors beat the Mavericks in 8-1 the seeding. They were the first team to ever do that or something.
No, that was Seattle. Seattle losing to Denver.
Was that recent as well?
That was 1994.
Okay. Well, it kind of deflates my point here, but you think when it was like more, 2-game series or like best of like whoever wins 1 or 2 games, 3 games, that would have happened before, but it wasn't. Where the competitive teams it was always Michael Jordan in the East with the Pistons for the beginning part, and then you had Indiana towards the back end. In the West, it was the Lakers later on, like in the
late 90s, early 2000s.
Right. I don't know. So Henry Cavill out of The Witcher, Liam Hemsworth taking his place. I never was into that show, never watched it. I'm sure it's good.
I've watched maybe like 1 episode of it. I mean, there's so much stuff that I'm watching.
The reason I knew he might one day leave this show is because I saw him on I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, and they showed a little preview scene, and it was so ridiculous because it was out of context. It was him killing a bunch of like creatures, and then they panned back to Henry, and he's just like with this smile of, "What am I doing? I'm a movie star." Like you could just tell on his face. It's like it's a great story, but I think that show probably gave him a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
dude. If you're Henry Cavill, don't you want to make Superman or make type of movies? Like you're a superstar, and now he's getting that chance, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's back. I mean, if you saw Black Adam, which I thought was a pretty decent movie. I mean,
I think it had to take a lot of hits because of all the mistakes a lot of previous DC movies have made. But
yeah,
I think The Rock, is physically and mentally strong enough to lead this next decade of the.
DC,
I'm not going to call it a universe because in the comics, there was a superhero cameos and stuff, but it was usually, wasn't it like by superhero?
Well, the thing is, they're united in that universe, but there also can be their own existing in their own little
gotcha.
Like Batman existed in Gotham City, protecting Gotham City, and then he can be in Justice League fighting aliens and monsters and shit, so like they when they come together, you'll see they're united and in the same universe, and they even refer to each other, from time to time also. But they also existed in their own little corner, like Doctor Strange. I mean, that's what I like about the movie, the MCU. They do exist in their own little pocket, but also they're also united and they have like a larger universe.
Are the Marvel comics constructed differently than the way the DC comic construct?
Well, it just all depends on like characters and stuff like that. But there's still, like that one big universe.
The reason I think Marvel has dived headfirst into this, multiverse and everything is because it really makes things easier, I think, as far as not confusing the audience.
Well, and
watching standalone films but the positive on a standalone film is you watch Joker. It doesn't affect you if you love it. It doesn't affect you if you hate it.
It doesn't affect you if you didn't see, maybe a previous movie.
Right. You don't get a little joke because you didn't see the Disney Plus show, which is going to happen.
But it's happening now because, like, if you didn't watch WandaVision, some things that they talk about, in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, you won't get. But the whole entire gist of it is that, hey, Wanda did some shit that people, didn't necessarily like.
Man, and her as an actor, her role, she was one of my favorite female superheroes. Same with Black Widow. And I hear the first screening of Wakanda Forever was great. So in 3 weeks, I heard we got to see that. But back to Henry Cavill, coming back mostly because of Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that he's back. I mean, he comes in a little cameo in the mid-credit scene.
Okay.
It's pretty damn cool.
I'll have to YouTube it.
Yeah.
But also on board, James Gunn, ex-Marvel employee, maker of the real Suicide Squad, and also
Guardians of the Galaxy. And
no, the one with John Cena.
Oh, Peacemaker,
yeah. Which had the after credits in the last episode of Aquaman and Ezra Miller. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is good. You need some leadership and some stewardship on these properties. So, because it just seems like they were just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. They had a knee-jerk reaction to the Avengers. That's what started, this whole thing. Okay, we're going to do Justice League, then spin them off into their own movies. And that did not work.
And see, that's the old regime, right?
Yeah.
So with this new regime coming in,
they're going to take their time. I mean, and this is what they should have been doing a long time ago. To me, if you really think about it, and we talked about this, DC has been owned by Warner Brothers for a very long time. And it's like you can't, you couldn't have had this universe here a long time ago, like at least in the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, because if you think about it, Marvel had to really hustle to make people know who these characters are because DC always overshadowed them.
Yeah, they had to go through a lot of shit. I mean, Marvel had...
And all the rights to all the different universes.
Well, but also here's the thing, though. The first Marvel movie ever theatrical movie was Howard the Duck. Yeah, Howard the Duck. Leah Thompson.
That's my favorite one. Yeah. I've never seen it, actually.
Leah Thompson and what's his name? Tim Robbins. Yeah, Tim Robbins in an early role.
Robbins? No way.
And it's just, that movie was not done right because Howard the Duck is more like a foul-mouthed version of Donald Duck.
That's pretty funny, though.
Yeah, I mean, you should read the comics. I mean, there's a lot of social commentary in it. There's a lot beneath, the humor and everything, but... Yeah, that was the first one. It was George Lucas. George Lucas produced that. Yeah. And I think he directed
Georgie.
It. Yeah, but so they had to go through a lot of shit.
But James Gunn is going to be the creative, I guess, kind of like how Favreau is a little bit.
kind of, overseeing and stuff like that, maybe producing, maybe doing some writing.
So he was a part of that Marvel universe.
Yeah, James Gunn.
What happened with his connections?
Well, with Marvel, he got fired off of Guardians 3 because of some tweets that he sent out, I think back in 2008, 2009. And I think he was fighting against like a conservative guy. They were arguing on Twitter, and they got a hold of some tweets, those said tweets, and that destroyed him. And they just said, we're going to move on.
Really? He was going against a conservative. It seems like they would fire him if he was the conservative guy.
I don't know.
Because they're so, they are a little PC and woke.
Yeah.
It's a weird term to say, hey, they're just playing it safe.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, they fired him. Fans just, oh boy.
the actors came to his defense.
Yeah, the actors and the fans too, and were like, hire him back.
Dude, now that I like refresh my mind this morning that he was the guy who made Guardians what it was, I'm like, oh my God, that guy's a genius.
Yeah, I mean, he took C-list characters and made them stars.
And now the character you least expect to have his own spinoff, Groot.
Yeah. And they're gonna have a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special coming up.
Real quick, what is that? Is it a movie or is it?
It's like a 1 hour special, and Kevin Bacon is in it too.
Yeah, you gotta love Kevin Bacon.
6 Degrees,
dude. So Ben Affleck coming back as Batman, apparently.
Yeah, the rumors out that he signed for 3 pictures and a cameo,
not including what he's done. They've also pushed Matt Reeves' The Batman to 2025. So when earliest release. So when you hear something like that with movies, I think this movie could be done, the Batman 2. Do you think there's any chance it gets made? Because they didn't make the money they thought it was going to make. You can't say it's because of COVID, right? Because Spider-Man came out before that.
Well,
and then also there's a lot of things in that movie where if it was 20 minutes shorter, it would maybe be better. If there was more chemistry between Catwoman and Batman.
But remember, they said that they couldn't be too close because they filmed it during COVID.
But I mean, I'm just saying, you're getting tested hourly probably during that.
Yeah, I mean, but well, we never know about the regulations.
They kissed, Yeah. So I mean,
and certain things, they filmed, then they had to stop.
Yeah, that messes. It takes, and then they were supposed to come out on Halloween, right?
It was supposed. Well, I think it was supposed to come out like March of 21.
No, it came out March. Eventually,
it was the original release date was I think 2021.
Christmas, I think. It never gave us a real date.
It was supposed to come out in 21, and shit happened. So COVID.
But regardless of what you I still love the movie. But do you think the Batman 2 by Matt Reeves, Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz could be shelved?
I don't think it should. I mean, it was a good movie, damn good movie. Plus, with HBO Max, they were looking at the download numbers. They were looking at the watch numbers. So people responded to this movie. People liked it. I liked it. I liked the whole detective side of him. We finally got to see that.
Great cast.
Yeah, damn great cast. I mean, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. I mean, Zoe Kravitz played a great Catwoman.
And I think how they can pitch this to make it work.
And of course, Colin Farrell, my boy.
And that's up in that's up in the air too now. If this rumor is true, is that series going to get made?
Yeah, and Arkham Asylum has got a new showrunner, so that's spinning out of the Batman, universe
of Pattinson's.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. The angles and the Batverse they've created has so many stories.
Yeah.
So that's something different that I don't think any other Batman movie has created, as far as staying in that universe. Because there's so many like evil characters we haven't gotten into yet. There's so many regular characters that are in the comics that we haven't even seen before.
Yeah, and plus they set it up to where, Barry Keoghan, who, was in the Eternals, where he was going to be the Joker.
Now he's saying, when they call me, I'll show up, but I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah. I mean, so the thing is, hey, he's pretty much a slave to, WB.
And that sucks because he is a pretty damn good actor, so he needs to know his scheduling.
Well, yeah, that, and, I don't know if there's going to be an Eternals 2, maybe. I mean, there might be an Eternals 2, but...
Eternals 2, if they make it, they got to mix some other Marvel characters in there.
Well, I mean, Black Knight is probably going to be one, because, it's set up at the end where he has that sword.
I'm talking about already established characters, just because... What happened when the Hulk was kind of struggling with making his own movie? They put him in Thor.
As a supporting character.
Yeah, so instead of making them supporting characters like they are in the comics, kind of.
I think now, I mean, I see what you're saying. They made him a supporting character in the Avengers movies, and they added Thor to his world. Yeah, I mean, I think that would probably benefit. I mean, because one thing that with Eternals, they were characters that nobody really knew. I mean, once again, Marvel tried to work their magic. I think that should have been like a Disney Plus show.
that would have killed as a Disney Plus show if you kept that quality.
Yeah, and I think it just would have been, just better as a Disney Plus show because it's a lot for it's like a 3-hour movie, I believe. And
you feel it at times.
Yeah, you do.
And for a 3-hour movie, I just feel like there could have been more to give the audience.
Yeah, because, you got a lot
They
of
played it
backstory.
safe. I know they had COVID restrictions and whatnot, but they played it safe, it seemed.
Yeah. And I just feel that it's probably is going to be on the lower tier for a lot of fans of Marvel movies.
Yeah, but that lowest tier isn't necessarily bad.
No, because Marvel has like such a track record of greatness, which is why, so many studios, when they get these franchises like, Godzilla, they get the Godzilla universe.
Godzilla.
Yeah. So they're trying to make a shared universe. Then, you got other things trying to make a shared universe. Sony was trying to make their shared universe.
Dude, real quick, you know how like in every Godzilla movie, there's always that one guy who says Godzilla?
Yeah.
Think about being in that casting room and seeing like 300 people come in and say one line. Go, you're on. Godzilla. Next. That's hilarious, but it's like, that's the truth sometimes with casting. And that'd be crazy. Godzilla, I don't think we need another Godzilla movie.
Well, we're getting a series.
That would make sense. Like you said.
Getting a series for Apple TV.
That makes sense.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I just think there's a fatigue factor with the movies of Godzilla, King Kong.
Well,
this time they've released it. It's the best CGI ever in 2 years. Yeah, that doesn't look as good as I remember.
Yeah, because the thing is technology improves so much.
Ang Lee's Hulk still lives up, in my opinion.
Ang Lee's Hulk...
I see the differences, but
the CG doesn't really hold
the night
for me.
scenes are pretty damn good for that time. Especially the fact that it came out when the first Spider-Man with Tobey came out, like a year or two after.
A year or two after.
So the CGI back then was not where it is today.
No, but the Ang Lee Hulk one, I've seen it more than one time recently, and it, the daytime stuff with the Hulk, it kind of doesn't hold up.
It doesn't at all.
No,
it doesn't. It's like even the shadows.
Eric Bana was a damn good Bruce Banner.
Some people say, like, despite the CG and whatnot, that was probably their best iteration of Hulk.
In some ways, maybe. You see that tortured side of him.
Yeah.
Which the Marvel movies kind of touch on.
Now he's kind of gentle soul ready to erupt again.
Well, he's learning to live with it, I guess. Embracing it. And, they made the deal. He and Hulk, came together and said, okay,
was this Venom? Do we have a deal?
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Hey, let's at least try to coexist. You can be, the outward appearance, and I'll be the intellect.
I guess, but I still think...
And it was like that in the Peter David run, too.
I still think... You know how epic it was in Thor Ragnarok when Bruce Banner just threw himself on the bridge, and then he just laid there, and then the wolf was coming for all the people, and next thing you know, you saw Hulk just grab him. Those are the moments with Incredible Hulk that you can't get with Smart Hulk.
That's true.
And I think that's what people miss. Yeah, it's better for us as fans, as an audience, to have him as Hulk and talk and use him. Ruffalo's a great actor. Okay, so it's not just like you're putting somebody in a suit or CGI costume and then just using a voice actor to go over it. But he's too valuable, I guess, to them not to, take advantage of every part of him. But I think you got to find that balance. Maybe it has to be in a great, all right, you're Hulk, let me transform back down. Don't make it so hard on both characters, Hulk and Bruce Banner. Yeah,
and I think we will see that Savage Hulk, maybe even see, the Gray Hulk. I would love to see the Mr. Fix-It Hulk, the one that's with the Mafia.
on the trajectory it is now, the stories, do you think any of those are possible?
Possibly. It's all about how they want to do it, if they want to do it or not. What storyline do they have in mind?
I don't think it could work as a. I think it can work as a show, but I don't think Hulk movies. She-Hulk was okay, but I think she's gonna be better in a movie. Call me whatever for that, but I think the budget and actually having, a beginning, middle, and end that makes sense. And I get what they were trying to do with it, but can you imagine Bruce Banner in a show on Disney Plus with that same budget?
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want to see that.
But here's the thing.
That's like seeing Batman in that type of role.
But see, Batman is not a CG character.
Sometimes he is.
Well, yeah, I mean, in some shots, but, he's not a big hulking monster. And I would say, the way they made him look on the show, She-Hulk was pretty much akin to the way they made him look in the movies. But I wouldn't mind seeing him,
But they had him, already saved from that CG, so they just reused it, I think.
And probably just touched it up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it was high quality.
Only him.
Yeah. I mean, well, when you're doing
Scar looked decent, but that was just the face, really.
But really, when you're dealing with, a new character, you're always going to have, some rough points on it, I mean, look at the way the Hulk looked 2003. Now go to the way he looks now. They continually refine and refine. Thanos. Look at the way Thanos looked when he appeared in 2012.
Yeah.
As opposed to the way he looked in Endgame.
Well, that point brings me back to my original question. Do you think technology advances in CG, VFX warrant, reiterations of movies like King Kong? And you're always going to get a Godzilla, King Kong.
Of course.
It's like not having pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. Once a year you'll see it, maybe once every 5 years. Jack Black did one, Adrian Brody. Everyone has been a part of those franchises. But I think it's like the Quentin Tarantino effect. He's done with something, he's done with it. I think as an audience, we should be done with something and let it go and let it live.
Like closure.
Yeah, let it live in the history of film, because then it's just like, oh, another one. Let's go see this one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, but you have to understand, Hollywood does not think that way. Which is why we've had so many endless sequels to Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. We've had so many, Spider-Man movies. We've had so many Batman movies and Superman movies.
Paranormal Activities.
Yeah, these are movies that you can continually mine for financial gain.
Very true.
That's why, I remember one time my mom asked me, how many of these superhero movies are going to make, or how many of these Batman movies? I'm like, this is a character that you can continually reinvent to the end of time.
That's a very good point you told me, Mom, because I asked a car dealer one time, and how many of these cars are you going to sell? As many as we can. Yeah. Same mindset.
Yeah, it's all business. It's a bottom line. Yeah, it's a business movie. It's not it's show business.
Yeah,
never forget that, because it's all about, hey, what can you do for me? How much money can you make for me? Can you make us money? And they sit around. I mean, with the remakes and stuff like that. Okay, I think that this can make money because people loved it back then. Like with these reboots.
I mean, where's the new Dracula?
Yeah, I mean, they had one with what's his name, Luke Evans.
How long ago?
This was back maybe 10 years ago. I was supposed to start that Universal Dark Universe with Tom Cruise as the Mummy.
Oh man, whatever happened to the Mummy? That was good. I liked it.
It didn't make the money that they thought, and Tom Cruise was originally supposed to be the bad guy in that.
Isn't he? No.
I mean, but I guess, they switched it around for him to be the hero. So,
did you see that picture I sent you of the lady's yard? She put a Moon Knight reference.
Yeah, Khonshu.
Yeah, dude, that was pretty cool. Halloween.
And speaking of which, this is Halloween.
October 30th.
Yeah. What's some of your favorite memories of Halloween?
Obviously trick-or-treating, right?
Yeah, I mean, I never really did too much. We would go to the mall. We go to the mall and trick or treat.
Which one?
We went to Northwest and Greenspoint.
Would you go to Foot Locker and they give you shoes?
Well, what they would do is they'd have candy. You go around to all the different stores, and then you line up, and I'd see several kids there in their costumes and everything, and they would, just pass out candy.
Dude, that seems like they should be doing that again if they're not.
Well,
that seems safe.
It's it's changed, and from when I was a little kid, I remember, trick or treating was a thing. And,
also,
and Halloween, and great
like
Halloween
when you were growing
parties.
up, like, was there more of like an aura of Halloween throughout the month?
Oh hell yeah, dude! I mean, I remember the local TV stations, CW, the local CW station. They had this like in around mid-October. They call it Inhuman Week, and what they would do is they show scary movies. They show one, and that was the first time I'd ever seen Halloween, and the first time I'd ever seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Is that the one with McConaughey?
No.
The first one.
The very first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And oh man, that movie scared the shit out of me because it comes off like a documentary. It's made in 1974 by Tobe Hooper, who did Poltergeist, who directed that. And the lasting image that I have is Marilyn Burns running from Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface, and he's got this chainsaw and he's chasing her. And I'm like, holy shit, is she going to get away? And I remember in the TV guides, I remember TV guides, they had a picture of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I'm looking at his Leatherface, he's revving up the chainsaw. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like the next night was Halloween. And it's always going to be etched in my memory I mean, wow, this emotionless face behind this emotionless mask, killing people. And, years later I would come to appreciate it, and it wouldn't scare me as much, but because, you can, as you get older,
But it was like, it seemed like everybody was all in to make this a real holiday.
Yeah, it was because, the candy and everything, and it's just fun. You get together, you get dressed up.
It's the shift of weather,
Yeah. And, you're getting into the fall and everything. Now it's an excuse for, women to dress up scantily clad and everything. And hey, not
even though they're not
wrong with that.
Well, they're doing it anyway on any day.
Yeah,
if they're doing it at all.
But it's an excuse. Oh, it's just my costume. They're doing it like in record numbers.
Yeah, I would appreciate as long as they, put time into that. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
And it's a real character. But if you're just going as a slut, man or girl,
or just trying to show off,
or you're that dude that's in shape, you're not coming up with no shirt on, you're like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, put a shirt on.
Like, I get it, your personality is shit, but just put the shirt on.
Yeah, we get it. You spend like 5 hours in the gym.
Some supplements might not be legal all the time, but
yeah, I mean, it was just about fun, and you watch scary movies and stuff like
Halloween parties back in the day.
Halloween parties,
haunted houses.
Awesome. Yeah, and they're dwindling.
And
these
bro,
haunted houses are dwindling.
There's like these scare places around town, but I don't think they get the advert. It's like you, as a kid, you'd be like, "Hey, make sure you go check out this scare house or this haunted." I remember going to my first haunted house. I cried. I was like maybe 8. I think I was in Dallas.
I went to my first haunted house I remember. Did you ever have fall festivals?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember, dude. I used to look forward to those, man. As a kid, the fall festivals. And I remember.
Those would get you through like that first half of school too. You have something to look forward to.
Yeah, it would, because like September and then October, and I remember
next it's December. It's half that month.
Well, it's Thanksgiving and then Christmas. Yeah, and I remember the fall festivals at my elementary school were fucking awesome. I look back on those with fond memories, and the haunted houses were pretty cool too. I remember, I think 3rd and 4th grade, I got a little scared, about going into the haunted houses, but I mean, it was still pretty cool. I remember 5th grade, they stopped because they didn't have the fall festival in October. They had it in November.
The Batman all over again.
And the thing is, like, the reason being is because they said they didn't want to promote like demons and things like that, for the fall festivals. And I'm just like, oh,
like,
God.
What parent ruined that? It was like, I don't think this is right.
Yeah, exactly. And
ma'am, I understand, but there's a slaughterhouse across the street. You want to deal with them first?
But it was like a guy who ruined going back to school after Labor Day. Because remember, we went back in August, and I hated that. I
feel like it's always shifted. It's always shifting.
Well, it would be sometimes like mid-August, then late August, mid-August, late August. Like when I was in elementary school, for a while we did go back in September.
That's pretty crazy.
For a little bit, and then some guy was like, "Yeah, they're not learning anything. They need to be in school more." Da, da, da. So school started in late August.
That's probably just the parent needing help, with the kids.
I think it was like some wannabe educator, legislature, or whatever. But I remember that day. I'm like, oh my god, this fucking guy is gonna just destroy.
Because if you have two parents that work, it's probably easier for them to have you in school all day than at home. And then some summers are great, but sometimes you'll have those 2-week stretches. You're like, man, I'm kind of bored.
And that's what fourth grade. I remember when I was going to fifth. Yeah, there were some times where I'd just be like,
that's the age a lot of kids like maybe traveled. It's like, oh,
I didn't travel. I mean, I was just like at home like every day. I'm just like, yeah, need something to break up.
Houston hot.
Yeah, and so like that next summer, my mom put me in like it wasn't summer school, but it was like an enrichment program and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you had to get busy.
But the thing is, it was more like fun and games.
Well, it got you around people, right?
Yeah, it did.
And see, that's the thing. Like, there's not enough of that, I think, even in today's world. But when I was growing up, you had to make your group, and hopefully no one was out of town. And there was one summer I would always remember. We called it the Bash Cruise summer. We'd have pool parties every day. We'd get like this little floaty. Everyone would like fight to the death to like be the last one on there, and it hurt, but it was great. And then, man, life started to hit real fast. People got mature on you.
Yeah, I mean that it happens, man. But I tell you, and even before like elementary school, like wanting to dress up. And I remember I think I dressed up as Superman one year, and we went to the mall to go trick or treating, and then I went to a Halloween party one year dressed up as an army guy. And, yeah, man, it's like, when you're a little kid, Halloween, all these holidays mean the fucking world to you. And I still love Halloween. I
still love Halloween, dude. I just, like you said at the beginning of this conversation, it's become a reason for girls and guys to wear. Guys don't really dress up anymore. And then girls will dress up pretty slutty unless they have a personality. Don't hate me. But I'm being serious. Like, you go to these bars and clubs, you don't see badass costumes.
No.
You don't see something like that took somebody 6 hours. You see something they got from Costume City, or maybe at Victoria's.
But at least they're dressing up, though.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it if the girls weren't, but we wouldn't be in the United States. Yeah. But I think it would be so badass to have things like that, Halloween, and actually appreciate Halloween for what it is. And I think it's a good educational thing for older people to teach kids. Like, yeah, some of this shit does happen. Like, there are serial killers. Like, there is death in this world. Like Day of the Dead in Mexico. I remember one year in school, we did these skulls out of sugar. We learned about a whole different culture's way of celebrating their version of Halloween. I think that's a whole segment that should be talked about, so people understand that, yeah, this is a finite life, but it doesn't mean you can't have fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, look, you celebrate Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving the way that you want to do it, not the way that other people are telling you to. Because my mom is like, oh, I don't like scary movies. That's why I don't like Halloween, and just celebrates, demons and everything. I'm just like, look,
we're going to sit down and watch it.
I'm like, great. I mean, okay. The Halloween is about, scary movies and stuff like that. And, a lot of the subject matter, has to do with, demonic figures and stuff like that. But, it's just about getting a good scare. I mean, it's all, I looked at it as fun, just fun and games.
Especially when you kind of have a director or creator making that movie that appreciates the genre.
Yeah.
So it's not just all gore. It's like, there's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
And I think when you take that sheet away and you realize, hey, this is just as good as a comedy, just as good as a drama, if the movie is good. But I think you see movies like Paranormal Activity, which, okay, maybe some people like the first one, but it doesn't do it for me.
Paranormal Activity kind of comes off like, The Ring and, a little bit of Poltergeist and stuff like that. They
should have stopped at The Ring. I think
I never really got into those movies.
I think that those are the type of movies people are like, I don't like scary movies.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like this. What more can you do? I mean, they have the new one, Smile, which I have not seen yet, and they said that one was pretty good. Then there's the one that's on HBO Max called Barbarian.
It too was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I loved It and It Too. I love those. And they're coming out with a prequel series to It, Welcome to Derry.
It's gonna be badass.
Yeah.
See, if you do it successfully, it's just like the superhero universe. Things can come after it, you know.
Well, and also you just have to do it right. First and foremost, you have to execute.
And
this is,
in my opinion, you got to have people that love that story. You can't just attach people because they've been doing it. Yeah, they've been doing it 30 years. They have a lot of knowledge, but they've never done a horror film before.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not working with this guy. You know, give me the guy who originally played Freddy Krueger just to get his insight on how they did it back in the day. Let me talk to the best.
And I actually did get to talk to Robert Englund.
When? What'd you talk about?
This was I think it was 2009. And it was the year before the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street came out. And I saw him in like his bar. And I'm like, shit, that's Robert Englund. Like, never get another chance like this again. So I came in, sat down to him, you know, just acted like I didn't even know he was there. And I was like, oh my God, Robert Englund. And he's like, oh, hey, you know, and nicest guy ever. And we were asking him, you know, we heard like a lot of rumors, like there was like supposed to be like a Freddy prequel, you know, showing like Freddy before, you know, he becomes, you know, this boogeyman. And then there was another one about, you know, of course, Freddy versus Jason Part 2. And so he said that
was the first one I ever seen, and I hated it.
You know, I liked it. You know, I mean,
just don't understand how
it was something that was years in the making too.
Yeah, I think it could have been better in my opinion.
Possibly some things. I mean, but you know, they wanted to make a part 2 with I think Ash from Evil Dead, and it was the rumor going around. Now there's a comic book series.
Still could happen, maybe.
Well, they're all kind of older now, so.
Dude, he's still badass. He's hilarious.
Bruce Campbell, yeah. Met him too, but yeah, I mean, and Robert Englund even says like, you know, I'm getting kind of old to play, you know, Freddy Krueger because, you know, the stunts and everything, and he actually did reprise his character on the Goldbergs, but yeah, he said like, you know, they better kind of hurry up if they're gonna do it. But he was telling me like, you know, just about, you know, what they did. I mean, New Line barely had any money. It was like a low budget thing, and most horror movies are.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't take them that long to make. You know, they do the effects, you know, on camera, on set, you know, no CG. Because I don't think CG really serves horror movies, the horror genre, really very well. Because the thing is, it's all, you know, when you see CG, like, oh,
and it all depends how you're viewing the CG, on what monitor, what TV, what setting.
Well, that too, but I mean, the thing is, it was all about using your imagination to create something.
And dude, a lot of the stuff that I look away from are from practical effects.
Yeah, I mean the stuff that like American Werewolf in London, that transformation scene was awesome. When David Naughton is transforming to the wolf for the first time, it looks painful, and all that shit was done on set. Nothing is CG about that.
That's
what's up. Nowadays, that would have been, you know, CG, totally CG. And it kind of might even take you out of it.
It does. For me, it does, especially if the movie is still good. It takes me out of it just because I'm like, okay.
And it's like, you're like, oh, God, you know, I can tell it's a computer.
This is where I think CG is okay. Like in Spider-Man No Way Home on that bridge, the sides,
oh, yeah,
that's
can
okay
for that, yeah.
But when it becomes like, man,
if it's just a little too much.
Yeah, and it can get like that in those superhero movies like Endgame. The whole background is kind of noticeably, but what are you going to do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, with, and he was just, you know, walking me through, you know, like giving me a history of the Nightmare on Elm Street films.
And think about that. Nightmare on Elm Street was CG. What more creatively could you come up with that you couldn't do with practical effects?
Yeah. And I mean, he said it's something that he does miss. He's like, you know, he knows that, you know, hey, CG is around, and, you know, stop motion is not really done that much these days either.
I remember Gumby.
Yeah. And
Freddy, I mean, I think that's my favorite.
Yeah. I never gravitated towards Friday the 13th. I don't know for what reason.
My brother does.
I don't know for what reason, but
I think it's because there's a personality to Freddy. He's funny, he's evil, he says bitch.
Yeah.
You know, there's something.
And with Michael Myers, you know, like I like the first two Halloweens. You know, with Nightmare on Elm Street, I like the first and third, and New Nightmare.
And I think Nightmare on Elm Street has produced more actor celebrities than
Lawrence Fishburne, Patricia Arquette, Johnny Depp is a big one. Is probably the biggest one.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that movies aren't made like that anymore, horror genre wise, it's a stepping off point for a lot of young actors.
Yeah, it is.
And we thought that was going to be our break, but it wasn't. We're not going to say what movie.
Let's leave that in the past. That was like
Kylo Ren, let the past die.
Yeah, that was almost 10 years ago too, man.
I think it was longer.
No, it was 2013.
I was 19.
Yeah, it was 2013.
Probably finished.
It was August of 2013 when we started filming.
Dude, I'm just saying, if you're ever an actor and you get to set 2 hours on the call time, you're an hour early, but then the director
is drunk.
Not just that. I can live with that if you do your job, but you come 2-3 hours after the call time and then you have to speed through the whole process. You forget to feed your actors. I mean, what the fuck? We thought I didn't know better. I was a kid. I wanted to make it work. I had that belief. I was like, come on, we can make this work. We can make this work. But dude, those are some things that I don't miss, because that's probably happening a lot more than on making a movie than actually doing a movie right. I don't think majority of people have it storyboarded, each shot,
or clearly written out and everything, or if they do have it clearly written out, they're just changing unnecessary shit. I mean, it's like, just let it be.
Yeah, I mean, changing is always enticing, right? But make the film as it is on the paper, because if you're watching a movie, yeah, I wish I could change that, but you can't anymore. So don't change it unless it's necessary, like an actor drops out or you don't get the rights to a certain character. I think we can talk about how Hollywood and the movie making experience can go in a different direction, because it's such a good outlet for people to get creative. And it's not just about being an actor. There's directors, there's people who want to have those jobs on set. There's voice actors. I mean, if you were to tell the average person, go find an agent, a real agent, it's impossible almost. Yeah. Like those people in California. It's like you're gonna get a person that you walk into their office and it's like it smells like the 70s. And the wood even looks like it's deteriorating, and you're just like, oh man. But you get excited because they actually do believe in you. But does that system want you? Because you see a lot of these movies, they're hooked to these companies like Universal or WB, and that they keep popping up. So even if Matt Reeves doesn't make another Batman movie, he still has to make another movie for Warner Bros.
I would rather see him make a sequel to the Batman. I mean, I hope that Ben Affleck's Batman doesn't, spell doom for Matt Reeves.
I hope it doesn't, just because.
Do you think that these two Batman can coexist? Because
I think you made a great point.
Is it going to confuse audiences?
I think you made a great point. Ben Affleck's in the DCEU. Okay. Matt Reeves seems like he just wants to focus on the Batverse.
Yeah. He's just making a grounded version of Batman. So I don't think we're going to see Clayface or any
if we do, we'll get like a Christopher Nolan version of it, more realistic.
We'll get a guy who kind of like what Burton did with the Joker. We'll get a guy who can like probably mold his face and his body and everything. He's probably one of these guys who can he's a master of disguise. That's probably how you're going to have to do that. Because Clayface could turn into anyone. And he could also, he's also like an ugly monster.
And we saw how, they kind of went with the contact lenses that can see and record. So there's technology in that universe.
What's it called? Deadshot?
No, not just Deadshot, but with the Batman. Remember he would wear the contact lenses? So there's technology that can explore it, but does it go across that line of this isn't quite the vision you had at the beginning? So it would be hard for me to see them connect the universes.
Well, and also you have to remember 52 Earths. There's 52 Earths. So that universe could possibly exist alongside. I mean, and
so that's their key there. Market it as the 52 Earths.
Yeah, like Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah. Great story. You should read it.
I will.
Well, Astros game 3 tomorrow. Lance McCullers Jr. is on the mound. You know what? Like I said earlier, if he can stop the walks and the early runs, I think he's going to do great. And the Astros are going to have to, just hit. They've been doing a great job with runners in scoring position too. I've been thoroughly impressed with that. And Lance McCullers Jr. I have full faith in him. I do. You see, and then we got Christian Javier possibly for game 4. I'm looking forward to that too, because that guy he's just nails a lot of times. And please start David Hensley over Trey Mancini and Aledmus Diaz. He can't be any worse than them. I love Trey Mancini, but he's 0-16. You were high on him. You were high on him. Yeah, but it's like this. He's not hitting. So you just got to have to, find who's going to give you that spark. But, Halloween is tomorrow. Guys, be safe. Have fun. Most importantly, watch some horror movies, pop some popcorn, eat some of the sugariest candy you can find. Snicker bars, Starburst, Skittles, gummy bears, gummy worms, gummy spiders, spider webs. The candy was awesome too. Kit Kat.
What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Ooh.
Gummies first. And
I love
chocolate.
gummies.
Which gummy do you like, and which chocolate is your favorite?
Just really like the regular gummy bears.
The old fashioned,
like the Haribo gummy bears. Those are the only ones I fuck with.
You don't like when they get tricky with it, start mixing in flavors that just don't blend well.
I kind of do. But I'm a guy that kind of
Haribo is like the gold standard.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! That's the only one I fuck with.
On chocolate side, I like Three Musketeers just because I like that softness.
Huh? I like the Hershey's.
You looked at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I like that because no one's ever really said Three Musketeers.
Well, think about this. Like, you want to bite into something so chocolatey, and then it's so smooth, and you don't have to work for those bites, and you're like, I don't want that peanut butter in there, really,
I'd love me some Kit Kats, dude. Dark chocolate Kit Kats.
Those are good, but I think.
And speaking of which, there's a Walgreens outside your place. I can go get some, dude.
Dude, the Kit Kats on Halloween.
They hit differently though.
No, they do, because those were one of the candies you would get the most.
Oh yeah, I remember
Reese's, those individual ones, Kit Kat, Skittles.
Yeah, I remember Skittles were like a big staple for my Halloween experience.
Occasional Razor Blade.
I was watching Halloween 2, and one kid, I think he bit into a razor blade, and you don't see it happen, but his mother's walking him in. And he's like got blood just gushing out of his lip. And yeah, but please check your candy, before you eat it, because I think there's still like that whole thing with razor blades and nails and
now it could
shit.
Be like these drugs they're talking about,
LSD, lacing and stuff with LSD, like the pixie sticks,
fentanyl and shit.
Yeah, so just be careful, kids.
Be careful, but happy Halloween from Sean Z. Jason, show them what it is.
But hey, happy Halloween. Check us out. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Comma Construct, folks. Catch you later.